since I think you've already watched the video, right? Ah, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of it's the same. There's a couple of things that are new this season, but a lot of it is the same. Uh, if you do the same things that you've always done, you'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, if it's just you, we can turn and burn through it fairly quickly. I have no idea. Huh. It. I wonder just how fine-tuned it is, because I would still have a hard time seeing, like, Clash of Clans is still around, right? So I would have a hard time seeing something as established as that. But it also wouldn't surprise me terribly much either. No, this is the only time I've ever played a pay-to-win game. Wait, what it wants to allow? There we go. It's a generic AI robot in a Oregon Duck jersey, yes. But yeah, I think Blood actually created that originally and sent it to me, and I liked it, and I've been using it ever since. Hey, Tanked. So, have you watched the recording, or is this coming in to get the live presentation? Okay, so we've got a couple of turns and burns that we can go through where it's all more or less there. So, give it a couple more minutes. I'm probably going to start about 5 after. If you want to go to the bathroom or get something to drink or something like that, since there's just two right now, give it a little more time. But at 5 after, we'll get started and we'll start running through it. Hey, Sniper. Hey, Fran. Now I know, Fran, you've watched this. Sniper, have you watched the recording? Okay. So at this point, Ollie's comfortable with the turn and burn, and Tank's watched the recording. Sniper, you've watched the recording. We'll wait and see who we get, but this might be pretty quick. I'm going to start at 5 after. So if you want to grab something to drink or go to the bathroom, you've got some time. Hey, Kiro. Uh, Kiro, have you watched the video already, or is this coming in fresh? Hey, Vet, have you watched the recording yet, or is this like just I need everything overview for you? Okay. So it seems like everyone's watched the recording. So this will be sort of a quick turn and burn. Feel free to interrupt with questions at any time. I'm going to start in about 3 minutes just to give a little more time for stragglers coming through, but then we'll go ahead and definitely be able to get started. Sounds like he's playing Duck Hunt on the NES with the clicker gun. Hey, Krista. I'm just trying to get a pace for where everyone's at. Have you watched the recording, or is this coming in completely blind? I haven't seen any of the presentation yet. Okay, fair enough. I always have to remember to mute myself on YouTube. Otherwise, I hear myself 10 seconds later, and it confuses me. Okay, this is about an hour-long presentation to be going through it in full. I am going to gloss through some things, though. I think everyone's kind of seen it. There's a couple of things I don't think with this group I need to kind of go into depth on. So we'll go ahead and get started. Season 4, keeping the lights on. The lighthouse in the background is going to give you an idea. It's going to be very dark and gloomy for the next 2 months. Okay, so a few things. We'll start off right with the transition. What happens? The map transitions 10 minutes after reset. So we'll all be kicked out, and it'll take 2 or 3 minutes for the map to transition. We'll log back in, and then we'll be on the uh, in the new map. We will be grouped up as a hive, I'm assuming, since that's how it's happened in every other season. We may or may not be where we want to start, so we'll have to play that one by ear as well. The things to do in the first 10 minutes before reset, you'll want to hit a Doomwalker 190 plus to, right, just hit the highest level Doomwalker you can before the map resets, just to get your purple survivor and get your boxes. You'll also want to be able to get ready to send out your trucks. You want to send your trucks out with about 30 seconds left before reset because they always get returned immediately with the map reset. Uh, so be prepared to send out trucks as well. So hit a Doomwalker in the first 10 minutes, then and send out your trucks. That's kind of all you have to do prep-wise before the map changes. Do not, even though it's Monday, do not immediately collect your radar missions. There is a new seasonal radar mission, and you want to have some missions saved in your queue so that when the radar pops or when the new map pops, you can collect those and you'll get the new seasonal radar mission in that first batch so that you'll get access to some of the rewards there. Um, After the map resets, and we'll cover this again, that's when you start hitting 190s. Basically, from the time the map resets, never hit a Doomwalker lower than 190 for the rest of the season for your first kill. And we'll cover that in a little bit. But then also remember when it comes to the Quartz Workshops, which are the new base level thing that create the materials you use to build the thing that gives you virus resistance, level them only until you unlock the next one, and don't level anything high until you've unlocked all four. And even if you buy the weekly pass and you have access to the fifth Quartz Workshop, don't level that until you've unlocked the fourth one, and then level it evenly with the fourth and the fifth one, and then level everything evenly. So those are all the big overview, the things to do before reset. Then, some of the changes that we're seeing on the map this season, the Alliance War is going to be the Copper War because that's going to be the seasonal resource, the rare soil, the coal, the gold dust. It's copper this season. The base material, their base building is Quartz Workshops. Those give you the quartz you need to build the optoelectric labs. And there are a couple of additional seasonal buildings, the lighthouse and the protector's field, and we'll cover those a little bit further on. The lighthouse is sort of like the personal furnace that you had in season 2 when it was frozen everywhere, except the lighthouse is separate from the thing that gives you virus resistance. In season 2, the furnace, your personal furnace, gave you your virus resistance and warmed you up. In season 3, the optoelectric lab, or in season 4, the optoelectric lab gives you the virus resistance, and the lighthouse gives you the thing that lights the world up. So they're two separate buildings now, and we'll get into the prioritization here in a little bit. We'll also cover the 4 zombie power generators and what those are used, and the protector's field returns. So there are some new buildings in this season. And again, if there are any questions, go ahead and interrupt if you want a little more detail, and I'll either tell you covering that in more depth or answer it when we're at. Um, it's after Buster Day, so we don't have to worry about that. One key thing just to remember is in past seasons when you kill Doom Elites in season, so from day 1 through day 56, they all give you the same rewards after you've got the first kill at that level. So if you've killed a Doom Elite 36, then whether you're killing a Doom Elite 32 or 22, it should give you the same rewards. So go after the one that's best for your troop situation. Higher if you're trying to kill troops, but early in the season lower because you'll get the same rewards and you don't want to kill troops because you'll need them for progressing on higher and higher Doom Elites. So, as we kind of covered it, seasonal buildings, Quartz Workshops, uh, and again, as we've talked about, you'll start out with just one, the ability to build one, and this all happens after the entire war zone donates to the seasonal thing. So donate gold, uh, iron, food, and diamonds. Don't ever donate seasonal resources if that's an option. But gold, food, and iron and diamonds will be valuable to unlock the optoelectric lab and the quartz workshops. What you'll want to do is level the quartz workshops evenly because every level gives you 720 additional quartz per hour. So it doesn't matter if you get one up to 30, uh, you're just throwing resources away. You should have, instead of one at 30, you should have 4 or 5 at 10 because you'll end up with a lot more resources that way. So just level everything evenly. You do have to get the first workshop up to a certain level to unlock the second workshop, and that has to be raised to a certain level to unlock the third, and so forth and so on. But that's the we've been through this before. Just make sure that you're leveling them evenly. Don't power level these buildings. These are not worth power leveling in terms of raising one up really high before the others. I do strongly recommend you do not treat quartz workshops and optoelectric labs as regular buildings in terms of what to do for verses. If there are present, pop them. The reason for that is these buildings will give you additional resources, seasonal resources that are going to be rare and hard to get. And so the sooner that they are popped, they start generating that new level of quartz or that new level of virus resistance. So if these are ready to pop, go ahead and pop them and rely on other buildings for your versus score. Uh, the next new building is the lighthouse, which is powered by zombie powered generators. As the lighthouse levels up, you'll be able to build up to 4 zombie powered generators. And apparently, there's a little mission where you go out and you have to capture zombies to put them in the little hamster wheel that powers the lighthouse. The first 10 levels appear to only take RSS, so gold, iron, and food to level. So leveling the lighthouse to level 10 is perfectly fine if that's the case, but do not use seasonal resources on your lighthouse until your optometric lab is level 30. Until you've got full virus resistance, do not upgrade the lighthouse. The lighthouse will, at certain levels, give you a tiny bit of additional virus resistance. I think it's 150 max is what I read. So there are some benefits to leveling it, but never enough to level it instead of the optoelectric lab. Always focus on the optoelectric lab. But yeah, eventually you'll want to level it up so that you've got all the resources in there. And then the Protector's Field returns, even though it's themed for Season 3 and it'll look apparently the same as it was in Season 3. These Undead Warriors apparently just are going to be persistent with us through the season. I think at this point, everyone's Protector's Field, as soon as you repair it, should be level 10. If not, put RSS, gold, iron, and food into it until it's level 10. But once it reaches the points that use seasonal resources, wait until the lighthouse is maxed out before you upgrade the Protector's field. Because unlike the lighthouse, which actually does give virus resistance and some other benefits, the Protector's field only is quality of life. It allows you to hold more protectors in stock, but you don't lose out on protectors. You just have to go through the process of manually clicking them and adding them to the field. So do definitely do upgrade the Protector's field last. So what this looks like kind of visually is you'll use stone to upgrade quartz workshops. Stone is the new base material. This is going to upgrade the optometric labs. Once those are done, then you use the resources to upgrade the lighthouse and the protector's field. Right away, you can upgrade the lighthouse and the protector's field with just uh, food, iron, and gold, but not seasonal resources. Now, with Doomwalkers, it's important that everybody hit or start or join a rally against a Doomwalker 190 or greater for their first blood every day. And when we have the Doomsday event on Sundays, where you can get first bloods for 3 separate Doomwalkers, you want to hit 3 190s or higher before you hit anything lower. And the reason for that is at 190, you get the maximum amount of stone for that first blood every day. And if you look at the math across that, if you hit across all 56 days plus the 3 Sundays where you get 3 instead of 1, you end up with over 13 million stone just from hitting Doomwalkers 190 plus. And that's enough to upgrade 2 full workshops, regardless of any other sources of stone that you would get from other locations. So remember, Doomwalkers in season, the first one you kill every day needs to be a 190 or better. Now let's talk about Hero Return recruitment tickets. There will be 2 new tabs that return to the tavern. The legend weapons of legends or something like that, which you only get a few of those, and those give you exclusive weapon shards. But the Heroes Return recruitment ticket's the one that I want to talk about. There are either 2 paths. If you saved up a bunch of Hero Return recruitment tickets, and I'm talking 1,000 or more, use them all on the first day and then save for season 5. If you only have a few hundred, you may actually see benefit in using those for the first week and then save. But absolutely, when we hit reset at the end of the first week, don't use any more Hero Returns recruitment tickets, the special ones that you get only in season. The reason for that is those hero return recruitment tickets have a 10% chance of giving you stone or quartz, 1,000 of them. So for every 100 tickets, that's 10,000 stone or 10,000 quartz, which once you get past the first week is a drop in the bucket. It's really not going to move the needle. But the first few hours, the first few days, and if you have a bunch of them, that's really valuable. So hero return recruitment tickets are much more valuable to save for the start of the season and use them as soon as you can. The thing you'll want to do before you use anything, let's see. Oh, I didn't get to that. I'll make sure I cover that. Remind me if I don't get back to it about when to do professions, but I think I'll cover that when we hit the professions tab. And then when it comes to Doom Elite first kills, so as you're trying to get that first kill and the seasonal rewards that go with it every level, just be a little patient with that one. There's generally a hierarchy in it. The biggest of the bigs hit the super large, and then they help the other bigs hit large, and then they help everyone else kill everything else. And we do this in order to preserve as many troops as possible so we can level everyone up. So when Rocktopus is killing a Doom Elite 35, you should still be able to ask for help for getting a Doom Elite 32 without much of a problem because that shouldn't kill troops by people that were helping kill the higher ones. But don't try to ask Rocto to do the same thing because the bigs will be burning hundreds of thousands of troops, helping anyone capturing strongholds and everything in the first week anyway. So we do want everyone to ask. Don't sit back and if you see people killing 42s and 43s and 44s and you're at a 20, please do speak up and ask. Generally, people will be able to get you up to, uh, like if 42s are being killed, they'll be able to get you up to 38 or 39 without losing troops and help you catch up that way. So please be aggressive in asking. Just also be patient and don't try to ask for help on the biggest and the strongest because that would be a lot of troops killed, and we will need those for our strongholds and other uh, in pressing Doom Elite. So that's just the kind of etiquette that we're asking when it comes to Doom Elite first kills is please be vocal and ask for help if you're behind, but also don't try to be at absolute tip unless you're uh, uh, one of the largest in there. So over the first few weeks, before the soil wars start uh, on Wednesday of week 4, there'll be 3 weeks in soil copper wars. Copper war will start on Wednesday of week 4. Obtain as much quartz as you can, upgrade your optometric lab as fast as you can, and then upgrade the lighthouse and your generators. The new things this season, the doggo and the fire truck is the season base. So when you see those are the things you're going to be clicking on to get the bonuses, the bonus free helps. Year of the Dragon is the decoration, so you'll be earning a little more gold coin if you have this inside your base. Sarah is the hero that goes UR this season, and she actually is a very useful hero, unlike Violet. She has a lot of value in certain situations. This will happen week 3. Just general information, if you have her Wall of Honor to 160, you'll have enough shards mailed back to you in the mail to get her up to 5-star. And any skill medals that you've invested in her will get refunded when she gets replaced as well. Sarah, if you run an air squad, Sarah will actually replace Morrison until Morrison gets his exclusive weapon sometime in season 5 or later. Uh, and when you've got her at 5 stars and high skill medals. That's because she's got an ability that buffs all other air heroes in the squad, so your squad ends up doing more damage and being stronger. So even though she may not be quite as strong as Morrison, she does hit very strong, and she's also going to buff D.Va and Skylar and everyone else that's an air hero in the squad. And just as a reminder, on Thursday, you'll want to put all of your shards and all of your skill medals into Sarah before you promote her, because as soon as you promote her, you get those refunded, so you get to double dip that week with the skill medals and the purple shards. The purple shards would, and she'll continue to use purple shards to level up or on the Wall of Honor, even once you've got her to 5-star. Uh, but we've done this already with Mason, we've done it with Violet, we've done it with Scarlet, now we're doing it with Sarah. If you have Sarah at 160, Venom is the hero that goes you are in season 6. He's a missile hero that you've probably not looked at in over a year and a half. EWs, they've changed the orders. Used to be tank, air, missile was the order for the EWs for the first 3 seasons. Now we're seeing air, missile, and tank. So this is the order they come out. Day 4, Lucius. Day 18, Adam. Day 39, Williams. If they're in your top squad, they're a very valuable tool. If they're not, it's a consideration one way or another. Trade posts are back. That also means trade post fights are back. Just a quick reminder, try buying from trade posts owned by 14 or by BBGY first, then by 1449, then anyone within our faction in the war zone. So there'll be 4 servers that are within our faction going up against the other side. So that's kind of the priority order when buying from trade posts. So electrician, this is a new survivor type that gets added every time you build a zombie power generator. So I think you can have up to 4 of these. Uh, we'll cover this a little bit later in some of the events, and I'll refer back to the electrician. But every time you build a zombie power generator, you get an electrician, and they can either be assigned to a squad and sent out so that squad doesn't suffer environmental debuffs when they're walking around the map, because the map's going to be dark and that's going to give your squad debuffs, which are the opposite of buffs. And having an electrician assigned to it will allow you to negate those debuffs as your squad moves around. But there'll also be certain world events and certain times you'll want to send electricians to help other alliance members. And when you do that, if you've got the right profession skills, you'll also be able to get some profession XP. So this is sort of like sending recon planes to alliance members to warm them up. You're sending electricians to alliance members to light them up. And then there's a couple of different building types you can also, or a couple of different events you can light up throughout the season as well. So electricians will be varied. There'll be certain uses for them throughout the season. They're not useless. They're actually going to be very valuable. Copper Wars, we covered this. The Alliance Hub this season, the 3 things it appears to give are quartz, oil, and Magadama. Magadama is the new currency for the Magadama shop, which it replaces the Desert Bazaar. So it's going to be used to buy the in-season seasonal items in the shop that happens. It was the serum shop, it was whatever it was in season 2, it was the Desert Bazaar in season 3, now it's the Magadama shop. Virus resistance. Just a couple of quick notes about virus resistance. If you haven't seen this before, if your virus resistance is less than 60% of the virus level of the zombie you're attacking, you lose. Period. End of story. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Even if it's a 5 million power zombie and its virus resistance is 1,000, virus level is 1,000 and your resistance is 200, apparently even at that level you'll lose. I don't know why it's that way, but that sort of seems to be the cutoff for it. Virus resistance comes from the Optimecker lab, which is why that's a thing that gets to level 30 before the others. Virus resistance percentage has 2 impacts, one that you see and one that you don't see, unless you really dive into the combat logs. The first is, when you go to attack a Doom Elite, uh, when you go to attack a Doom Elite, it'll say your virus resistance is 80% of the Doom Elite, you'll do 80% damage. What you also don't see, though, is under the hood, unless you check the combat logs, the zombies will deal more damage to you. I believe at 60%, so at the worst case scenario, they're dealing like 2,000% more damage to you. So that's why you get those situations where you attack a zombie or a Doom Elite and you say, let's say you feel like you should win, even though you're only dealing 80% damage, but you lose, and that's because the other half of the equation, the zombies, are dealing a lot more damage to you. So that it's the zombies dealing extra damage, which also helps or really identifies why you lose some of those fights that you feel like you should have won. Doomwalkers don't have virus levels. Don't worry about those. You can go after them immediately. Rallies, when it comes to virus resistance, use the rally leader's virus resistance for everyone in the squad, assuming it's lower than theirs. Any single individual in the squad that has a higher virus resistance uses their virus resistance. So if the leader has 5,000 resistance, every three people join with 2,000 resistance, and then one person joins with 6,000. The leader and the 2,000s all use the leader's 5,000, and just for that one person that's at 6,000, they'll use their 6,000. So that's how it works. Rally leaders will bring everyone up to their level, but any individual that has more will use that for themselves only. Um, why we ask that only the strongest of players with the highest virus resistances or the attack the strongholds is basically the way stronghold captures work is a stronghold has X zombie squads in it. Every time you defeat a squad, the percentage goes down by whatever that is. So if there's 10 squads, it would be 10% every time you defeat a squad. If you damage a squad but you don't defeat it, that squad doesn't say damage, it returns back to full strength. So if we have people joining rallies that can't kill a squad, then all you're doing is creating more and more rallies that have to be run and killing more and more troops as a result in that case. So we really want to ask that people look at their battle reports when they're attacking strongholds, and if they're not uh, at least significantly damaging a squad so someone else can clean it up, that they hold off on attacking strongholds. Now, again, when it comes to strongholds, you don't get credit for damaging the stronghold, you get credit for garrisoning the stronghold. So that's why we cycle people in, ask you to jump in for 10 seconds, then leave so other people can jump in and everyone can get their rewards for that first capture. Cities are fair game. Cities are just dealing damage, dealing durability damage. Everyone can attack a city, fair game, no issues whatsoever. Um, so again, this is just one of those things where we're trying to manage troop losses because there will be massive troop losses in the first couple of weeks. It's going to be really hard to keep drill grounds full or even halfway full. And so we're just asking for everyone's help in making sure that we are as efficient as possible. So there's as little money spent on speed ups as possible for healing troops. And then just a reminder that the faster we gain strongholds as well as cities, the faster we upgrade the Alliance Center, which means that as soon as the Alliance Center hits those max levels, everybody starts gaining quartz, which is the really key resource for upgrading the optoelectric lab, so that becomes very valuable as well. Professions in Season 4. Now here's what I'm going to ask you all to do, and I'm going to say this before I dive into anything else. Once the season starts, the very first thing I want you to do, even before you go after a Doomwalker, is reset your profession tree and grab all of the profession skills on the right side that you want. The reason for that is we'll cover it in a little bit, but many of those skills give you bonus XP. Now, jumping into the profession as well. So what that would look at is map reset, reset professions, go after Doomwalker 190. That's sort of the first first three things you want to do. Reset professions, reskill professions, then Doomwalker 190, then move around the map and do the rest of the things. Profession level is capped at 100. It does not go up. So if you're already level 100, you don't have to level your profession anymore. That being said, you still will gain profession XP, and that profession XP gets converted into tactical fragments. Tactical fragments are going to be one of the key resources you have for upgrading the levels of your tactics cards, and we'll get into tactics cards later on in the presentation. So we still want everyone to try leveling their profession as hard as they can. A lot of your profession leveling comes from building seasonal buildings, which is why it's so important to gain as much stone and quartz as you can, because the more seasonal building upgrades you can get in, the more big chunks of profession XP you'll receive, and the faster you'll hit level 100. I think everyone in the Alliance is above level 80 or very close to it, and there's quite a few at 100 already. So we just want everyone, whether you're at 100 or not, to keep pushing your profession level as hard as you can. So what are the must-have season professions? Building inspiration, combat experience are going to be the first two that are absolutely critical to grab, and that's because these give you a bonus profession XP for upgrading buildings and for attacking zombies on the map, which is why I say we want you to complete these or grab these, reset your professions before you start going after Doom elites and everything else in order to get the maximum amount of profession experience and experience from buildings as you can throughout the season in order to generate as many tactical fragments by the end of the season as you can. Professional insights because it's free profession experience. Double exchange because you get you at max level you turn 25,000 stone into 50,000 quartz. It's really one of the only places where you can turn something into something else in this game, and it just happens to be one of the most valuable resources in the season for seasonal activities. And then top up XP. This is the thing when you send out your electricians into the world to do things and they come back, you earn profession XP. It is capped, it looks like, at 100,000 XP per week, but you definitely want to send that out. So, or no, per day. So there's a lot of profession experience you can gain from sending your electricians out with squads and other things that can come back. So those are the ways you're going to gain experience and resources through the seasonal skills. So these are the must-haves. As we start looking at some of the situational, contaminated land teleport's going to be useful because it will consume this as many of these as you have saved up over using an alliance teleporter or a uh, advanced teleporter if you teleport into the contaminated land. So this will be very useful as we move around the map early on. Um, Trade discount, if you're buying from a BBGY held trade post, it's 10% reduced diamonds. Fragile spell, if you have protectors and you use them, especially during the Copper Wars, this one will be valuable at max level. You can end up dealing 5,000 extra durability damage. So if you defeat an enemy using a protector squad, so 2 hits from a protector squad will be enough to ash someone. That would be 12,000 durability damage. I don't know what Electrician Rallying Cry does, but it may be valuable. Um, the description wasn't particularly useful, but this might be things like you don't have light for your during the Blood Moon Descends event when zombies attack your base, and putting out this call will allow people to send electricians to you to help light up your base so that you're protected, etc., etc. So there's some, again, situational value there. Other situational value, Flare. This is the new heat bomb, lights up a 9x9 square on the map. This is what you're going to use to reveal the Monarchy Nekos, which are the sushi shops, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Lightfall is a PvP ability where if you attack an enemy and defeat them, you shut down their lighthouse for 3 minutes, which then, if they aren't within their alliance center, subjects them to environmental debuffs because now they're in the dark. Disruption Mine is now the seasonal mine that goes through there. Oni summoning, I'm assuming, is kind of like uh, the Summon Mummy, which also returns. I just don't have it listed because it's a level 100 skill. Um, but it appears to be another way to summon something to attack. Now, there's Blood Knight Descends and Blood Knight Hunter. Blood Knight Hunter is a PvP event, and these 3 skills are going to be critical for that if you want to take part in it, and I would recommend you take at least some of these so that you can take part in the event. Because you don't even necessarily have to be strong at PvP to get significant rewards out of the event. And I'll cover that a little bit later on, but for right now, the 3 profession skills are Blood Knight Hunter, which I believe you have to have in order to take part in the event. Blood Knight Hunter Teleport, which are the only teleports that work within the event. So this one is a little risky. You don't want to max this out. You can take it up to 20, I believe. You can have up to 20 profession points invested in this. That is a lot of profession points in a single skill that is used only for a single event once every 3 days or so. So just be careful about that. I wouldn't put more than 5 in here. Play around with it at that point if you're doing with it, but 5 should probably be good. Maybe you can get away with less, especially if you're just trying to hide during Blood Knight Hunter, which we'll get into a little bit later. Hunting Inspiration is for the stronger PvP players that like to attack. Bases that are taking part in the event have a new icon, and if you attack them, they have 3 lives basically. If they get defeated 3 times, then they're out of the event. If you're the one that knocks them out of the event, you get a boost of a big glut of profession experience. So if you're an aggressive PvP player, this may be something that you look for to give you a lot of profession experience. And then there's always the skill that's for the memes, and this kind of time it's the shrinking spell. So if you have absolutely nothing else to spend points on, whatever, but it's kind of stupid. It reduces their base up to 75% in size. So quickly, the changes, the Desert Bazaar, as we talked about earlier, becomes the Matakama shop, and you're able to buy in there. In there again, like usual, seasonal resources are the first thing you want to buy. Tactics cards are probably the second, and then rare resource items like training certificates and the Overlord boxes would be third. If they have oil, it's also going to be another place you can buy oil, but those are the things you'll want to look: seasonal resources, tactics cards, and then other things. I would recommend not holding out, not purchasing things like gold or other things until the very end of the event. And ways you can gain the currency that in here, I think First Bloods each day from Doomwalkers, from other seasonal activities, seasonal goals. There's always the seasonal goals, and they will reward this. There's during the Blood Knight Descends event, not the Blood Knight Hunter, which is a PvP, but the Blood Knight Descends, when your base can potentially be attacked by zombies. Apparently, there are these Oni generals and Oni Wagnons that roam around, and killing those will get you those as well. So there's going to be a number of ways of earning the currency for the Magatama shop. The new seasonal radar mission is the Izakaya bar, and this is same thing as we saw with the desert runes, where you roll, you have a chance of failure. That chance of failure goes up each time, and at the end you leave with the rewards or you leave with nothing. Personally, I'd recommend just re-rolling until you fail. Even if you only succeed 2 times during the entire season, it's worth it, because that's the one of the only ways in the game you can get seasonal medals. And so you get a couple of seasonal medals, not a lot, but a few, but also EWs. So the very last reward level is just significantly better than anything else before that. I would recommend rolling. It's kind of a crappy design of a structure of a game, because uh, you're encouraged to walk away with regular resources. Just roll to failure is my recommendation. The Monake Neko apparently replaces the desert artifacts and the dogs. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but these are things you light up with electricians. I've seen some things where you defeat zombies, other things where it says you don't, because then sometimes it says no, that you actually uh, identify these sushi restaurants there. I'm not 100% sure, but just be aware that there's this thing called Monake Neko that's going to be something that happens. There's an alliance version and as well, so just be aware and ask questions as we open it up and see what happens. With the sushi restaurant, these replace the desert sphinxes, and instead of just clicking on to get a reward, you have to play a mini game to get the rewards. It's basically mahjong. If you've ever played mahjong, there's a number of tiles on the board. You try to match tiles up, and when you match them up, they disappear. Tiles stacked on top of other tiles uh, keep it so you can't click on the tiles underneath until you do that. If you're having trouble, apparently the YouTube channel Last Word Tutorial has a YouTube playlist of all of the different possible stages for this, so that's a place you can go to see how to succeed in it if you're having a problem. Tactics cards. There's a lot to go through, too much for this. This is already going to be a long presentation, so I'm just going to cover the overview and the basics. Regardless of your profession level, you can obtain tactics cards. You will not be able to use tactics cards until you are level 80. Once you're level 100, any profession XP you earn becomes tactical fragments. So this means no one is blocked from earning tactics cards. You can earn them anytime. But if you're not already profession level 100, you're going to be using some of your profession XP to get to profession level 100 before you can start generating tactical fragments. Um, Early in the season, I would recommend do not recycle any tactics cards. Eventually, you will recycle your battle and your resource tactics cards, but not your core cards, your gold cards. The UR cards, they're called core cards. You never ever want to recycle those. That's because those last between seasons. So, going into season 5, any core cards you've received, you'll keep. So those will still be there. Battle and tactics or battle and resource cards, those are get recycled every season. So there may be a case, and I've got a slide when it says it a little later, but I'll talk about it right now. It may be on day 56. We encourage everyone to recycle all of their battle and resource cards, never their core cards, in order to generate as many tactical fragments in their inventory that will persist into season 5 going forward. So the 3 core cards, or the now using them, there's 10 core cards, but as you can see here, and there's more than that for battle and resource cards, you can only have 10 cards active at any given time. 2 core cards, 4 battle cards, 4 resource cards. You can swap the cards. So as we look in here at the you have 2 battle, 4 resource, or 2 core, 4 battle, 4 resource. You can swap these cards anytime for free. It sounds like within your base, as long as all of your squads are home. It's one of those things where, since some of these things impact squad power, you have to have them all in your base before you can adjust your tactics cards. And that's because some of the cards will say, every time you killed a Doom Elite, you gain 5 more Matagama or something like that. So if you're in arms race and you're about to spend your stamina to go out and kill Doom Elites, well, you'll want to swap in that card because you'll get more Matagama that way. If it's Buster Day and you got cards that are better for PvP, you'll want to swap those in for PvP. And you can do that at any time as long as your cards or all of your squads are at home. Cards have 4 attributes on them. One main attribute that defines what the card is, and then 3 random attributes from a list that I'll cover in just a second. So it may be that you end up with 2 cards of the same type, but because of the random attributes, the one of the cards is just much more valuable than the other, and we'll see that here going into the list. As you can see, some of these are really valuable for PvP. You get more health, attack, and defense. Others are just general buffs to your tank heroes to a specific type of hero. Tank, missile, aircraft. So those would be more valuable to have for a squad that is focused on, or to use when for your top squad, just to make your top squad that much stronger. Some of these are pretty garbage. You know, Boost load capacity 2 to 5%. That's pretty much useless because the only time that impacts anything is when you're farming other bases and for RSS, and it just gets you to red faster. You may save 10 stamina, but you're not going to save a lot. So boost load capacity is not great. Gathering marching speeds, probably not very valuable. March against cities, not very valuable for most of the season. Maybe for Warzone or something like that. I don't even think we have that during the season though. So there's just not necessarily a lot of value in a lot of these cards. But others are super valuable because they're going to be marching speed against players. That's a really strong PvP skill. March speed in general, stronger. That's going to help across the board. Uh, you know, if you are all aircraft, having all cards that have random rolls that boost your aircraft heroes are going to be really strong. So you're going to mix and match a lot based on the core cards, but you may also end up having a card that you've leveled up to level 4, and you may end up merging that into a level 1 card because it's just got the better stats on it. Now let's talk about leveling up tactics cards. The way you can level up tactics cards are a lot like decorations. You can either merge 2 cards together, and I think you get to choose which card gets merged into the other one, or you can use your tactical fragments to upgrade the card. So if you've got 5 copies of a card, you can merge those together into 1 copy and get the levels out of that, or if you've got 10,000 tactical fragments, you can put those into a card to level them up as well. Until we kind of get a feel for the cards, maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes 2 weeks. I just recommend not recycling cards right away into tactical fragments until you're comfortable, you understand what's going on, and then you can start recycling battle and resource cards that you just really have no use for in a situation, and you want to put the tactical fragments, into something else. Just really quickly, tactical fragments can be earned By once you reach level 100, any profession experience you earn is going to be turned into tactical fragments. Different activity rewards give tactical fragment rewards and tactics cards rewards, obviously buying them, and then recycling cards like we talked about. But again, I just want to repeat this so that there's no confusion. Core cards, the UR cards, the gold cards never get recycled. You will use those throughout the rest of the game. So do not recycle core cards. Battle and resource cards only. So Blood Knight. So this is should actually say Blood Knight Hunter, and I shouldn't have a picture of Blood Knight Descends. Blood Knight Descends is the PvE activity where you can get attacked if your base is dark and etc. etc. But the Blood Knight Hunter is an event that starts week 2. It's a PvP event. There, it will occur 3 times in one day, kind of like Winter Storm. But unlike Winter Storm, where it's a 2-hour window, it's a single 30-minute block. So you get rewards for how long you survive in the Blood Knight Hunter event. So you really want to be on as close to the start of Blood Knight Hunter as possible in order to be able to hit the 7-minute markers, which is where you max out your individual rewards for participating in the event. As I said before, it is a PvP event. There are base attacks in the event, but unlike Warzone or other things where you get ashed, you basically have 3 lives in Blood Knight Hunter, and you lose one of those lives every time someone attacks your base and defeats your squads on your wall. And once you're defeated 3 times, then you're out of the event. So in that respect, there's sort of an upper limit on how many troops you can lose. If you don't have any troops on your wall, it's just 3 hits to your drill grounds, and then that's the number of troops you lose. If you have troops on your wall, then you're going to have them in the hospital and however many you fit in there. But that's how the event goes. For 30 minutes, you try to either hide if that's more your style, or you attack other people in the event. And trying to knock them out of the event. Your goal is to last 7 minutes. At 7 minutes, you max out your individual rewards, and then at the end of the 30 minutes, you also get at the end of the 30 minutes, you also get a ranking reward based on how far you've ranked. I do recommend that everyone take part in Blood Knight Hunter when it comes up, just like Winter Storm. It's basically free rewards. There will be some troop loss that will go into it, but it's more limited than Warzone or Buster Day or anything like that. So you're also more limited in what you can lose. So you'll lose some, but you'll gain some rewards you otherwise wouldn't have access to or are very hard to obtain. Seasonal Doom Elites and Little Zombies. They've changed the Little Zombies for us this time. You get to pick which type you attack. You only get one first kill per level. So instead of killing an air zombie level 1, a missile zombie level 1, and a tank zombie level 1, you just kill a level 1 zombie, and you can pick the type you want to go hunt. So you can go pick tank. If you've got an air squad, you can pick missile if you've got a tank squad, or you can pick air if you've got a missile squad as your top squad. So you got to hunt down whichever one you want to go after. Doom Elites are critical in terms of first kills for the seasonal rewards you get out of it. But once you've killed it, like if you've killed a Doom Elite 38, when it comes back to using going after Doom Elites for stamina during arms race, you'll want to pick the Doom Elite level that matches your objective. Either if you want to kill troops, pick higher level ones, but make sure you kill them yourself so other people aren't dying when you send troops against them. But if you don't want to kill troops, then pick a lower level Doom Elite, because at that point, if you killed a 38, whether you kill a 32 or a 22, apparently you get the same rewards. Want to make sure and check that one way or another, but that's definitely that's how it's been in the past season. So just make sure that you are checking the level that you want to go up against. The season battle pass, a lot of people view this as just something that people with money have access to, but I would recommend this for everyone, even free to play. If you go in and look at the battle pass, it does have missions. Some of them are daily missions, some of them are seasonal missions. On the day after you set your profession experience or your profession, reset your profession and redone all of that, go in there and look for which profession or which missions, seasonal missions you can complete. Some of them just take basically stamina, like kill X zombies on the world map. So in cases like that, you want to go out and just hunt low-level zombies that are on the world map to kill those, because there's a rewards tier for everybody, regardless whether you buy it or not, and that's going to give you hero return recruitment tickets. That's going to give you seasonal resources, and that's going to give you EWs, I believe. So do go and look at those missions, see which ones you can complete, and work as far down as you can, because you'll max out the types of rewards you can get earlier in the season, which will allow you to grow your buildings faster. And that is basically it. So, kind of an overview of what the start of the season is going to look like. Going to start the season, the reset tomorrow night, Sunday night is going to happen. You'll want to kill a Doomwalker. You'll want to have your trucks ready to send out 30 seconds before the map changes. So 9 minutes and 30 seconds after reset. At 10 minutes, everyone gets kicked out of the game. Then we all have to try and log back in. 2 or 3 minutes later, we'll log back in, reset your professions, then go after Doomwalker 190, then start leveling profession buildings, use your hero return recruitment tickets, and move to the new Alliance rally point as quickly as possible. And we'll start doing the regular things we do every start of every season at that point. So that was a very quick run through, and I know I went fairly fast. So if there's something you want me to go back and cover in more detail, do please say so and let me know. Uh, Otherwise, the floor is open for questions. It appears to be. They got really creative by reusing it. Any other questions?